Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all having a good Saturday. Welcome to Red Fox Spirit Tarot. This is your collective reading for Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. So, welcome, everyone. The first card that I have is the Seven of Swords. Is the Seven of Swords. And what I'm getting from this card is it seems like some of you have been I feel like some of you have been at a I feel like some of you are leaving behind a bad job. Like, I feel like some of you have dealt with, deceptive, or I feel like you have been dealing with some managers or co-workers. Like, I feel like you were at a workplace, at a job that it wasn't very it didn't benefit you at all. And so I feel like uh you're at a job that doesn't benefit you at all. And I feel like some of you just I feel like some of you uh I feel like some of you are thinking about leaving it. But I also feel like some of you, you kind of want to stay because of the benefits, or maybe because it's the only job that you may be good at, or maybe it's something that you find yourself comfortable in. Like despite, all the bad stuff in your job, like I feel like you're choosing to stay because of the benefits, or because of the pay, or maybe because you like some coworkers there and you don't want to leave. But I feel like you are being called to leave this job. And I feel like some of you want to leave this job, but I feel like some of you are unsure. And I feel like some of you realize that, I feel like deep down inside, I feel like some of you know that, this job, this current situation, like, it doesn't benefit you at all. And you know that it's like, it could be putting a strain on your mental health as well. You may not be well appreciated in that job as well. So I feel like some of you, like, even if you're like dealing with some negatives, I feel like some of you are hesitant to leave this job. And but I feel like God is, I feel like, but at the same time, I feel like you are also deceiving yourself a little bit. I feel like, you tell yourself that you can't leave this job. Like there's nothing else for you. But I feel like you lied to yourself because, you feel unsure. You feel like, you know, like I feel like you're feeling a little bit unsure. Like you're not sure if leaving this job is something you want to do because, in your mind you think, how am I going to afford the bills? How am I going to, you know, feed the kids? You know, how am I supposed to afford my pets bills? You know, like like you feel like kind of stuck because you feel like this job may be terrible, but it pays. And I feel like you're the type, well, some of you may just stay for the benefits, but I feel like the cons outweigh the pros. Uh and I feel like you are being called to leave the job and find find something better for yourself. And so, and the next one here is the Eight of Swords. And as you can see, she has the blindfold on. And there's right here the full moon. And if the full moon represents phases, it represents, you know, uh, illusions. It represents a change in season, and and without the moon, we wouldn't know, if it's day or night. And without the moon, you know, uh, I feel like half of our animals will die because they rely on the moon, uh, to change like the ocean tides and everything else. So I feel like, God is telling you to be aware of illusions, and I also feel like he's telling you to, uh, and I feel like he's telling you that uh, that this is like this is just like one. Well, you experience a lot of phases in your life. Like we all have experiences. We all have experienced phases, and I feel like he's telling you to get out of this phase of limitations. Like, I feel like you're going through life with a blindfold on because I feel like I feel like you put the blindfold on because it's more comfortable not to see, like the stuff that might make you uncomfortable. And I feel like you kind of go through this job, through this life with a blindfold on because you probably don't want to see that, this, uh, I feel like you kind of like, uh, I feel like you don't want to see, uh, it's like you want to see, it's like you want to avoid, uh, the negativity. Like you just want to focus on the positive. And there is such a thing as toxic posit- toxic positivity. And what toxic positivity tells you is, things will turn out okay. I just need a smile. And a lot of times what that does is it puts a strain on your mental health. And I feel like you don't let yourself experience the negative. And I feel like, um, you gotta live with the negatives to enjoy the positive in life. And I feel like by addressing those negatives, I feel like once you take the blindfold off, you're going to see that there may be more to this life than just, going through the motion. And I feel like you are going through the motion. And I think it's because maybe in your past life you've been told to just work, to just make money, to just put a smile on your face, and like, and just work, just earn your money. But I feel like a lot of the times that advice, that type of advice can sometimes destroy us. And I say that because, some jobs, uh, there's some jobs that are kind of like predatory, they're predatory. And I feel like you're in a place where that job can be predatory. And it seems like that paycheck, those benefits, I feel like you can get that on your own. Like you can just start off with a cheap insurance, and then later on down the road, you can just change your insurance to a better one. And so I feel like God is telling you to, uh, understand that uh, there's definitely negatives, but there's also positives. And I'm also picking up that you may not believe that you can get out of this job, that you can improve your life. And but I feel like once you take that blindfold off, you're going to see that you can, and you are capable of finding something better. Okay, so, and the third card I have here is the Page of Pentacles. As you can see, he's holding on to, like, it seems like he's holding on to like this little mineral, this rock, this gem. Kind of looks like a diamond to me, or crystal. And I feel like this can be you. You know, the Page of Pentacles is about new opportunities, and I feel like there's a lot of opportunities out there for you. And I feel like if you take that leap forward, you're going to find those opportunities. And I feel like God is telling you that, no, he's not asking you to quit right away. But I feel like he's asking you to look for something better. And I feel like once you realize that this job is not beneficial to you, you're going to start to look for something better. Maybe an entrepreneurship. You can start your own business if you want to, or you can move on to a better job. And I say, take baby steps. Okay, don't rush, but also as you move up the ladder, you're gonna see results, and you're gonna see that that what you found is a lot better. Okay, so, and now we're going to move on to the next card. You got Capricorn here. So there's some Capricorn energy. You may be a Capricorn, or someone else may be a Capricorn, or you may have Capricorn in your chart. And I'm sensing some Capricorn. And here, Capricorn, the motto is I control. Okay, Capricorn is about I control. Okay. And so I feel like this Capricorn energy, this I'm feeling like this Capricorn energy. Like I'm feeling whether you're a Capricorn or not, I feel like God is telling you to harness that Capricorn energy of I control. Like I control my life. Like I control my life. And I believe that once I take control of my life will improve. So let's see if we have another one here. We also got Gemini. Okay, we got Gemini here. Got some Gemini energy. Now you may have some Gemini in your chart. You may be, or you may know a Gemini, or it may be that God is telling you to harness some Gemini energy. And Gemini energy says, I think. Okay. Gemini says, I think. And so I feel like Gemini energy is asking you to think, to really think about uh, the opportunities that are out there for you. And so Capricorn energy is asking you to control your life. Obviously, we can't control everything, but we can control some things. And I feel like what we can control is our choices. And I feel like Gemini energy is asking you to think about your decisions, your choices. Okay, so God is saying, to really think about what you want, but also think about, what, like, but also think about your current situation and how you can improve. And so, okay, so the next card we have is transformation. I actually had this one in the other reading, but the fact that it showed up for you as well, I feel like this is a time for transformation, a time to, I feel like they're asking you to transform your life and make it better. And so, and that's what I feel with this card. And, with this Pegasus and the flames, I feel like God is telling you to, fly high and, dig deep down and find out what your passion is, what you're passionate about. And so that is something to look into. Now, last card I will read is your angel number. And your angel number is 88, reward. 88 reward. So, consider this your confirmation or your affirmation or your confirmation that God is telling you that there's something on the other side of where you are now. Like there is something out there for you. And I feel like God will reward you in some way in the end. Okay. And, don't think that, you will automatically have like a mansion or a big house or anything like that. But I feel like you will find yourself in a more comfortable life, and I feel like that is what God wants for you, is to have a more comfortable life. Okay, so I hope you like this reading. Give a like if you really like this reading, comment and subscribe for more, and I'll see you next week.